I am not asking you to do anything. I am not asking you to change. I am just asking you to listen. Because listening is the greatest meditation. When you listen, the mind stops for a while. And where the mind stops, that is where the door to sleep opens. You are afraid of sleep. No, you are not afraid of sleep. You are afraid of being left behind. Sleep is a small death. Every night you die and every morning you are born again. That is why the person who is very attached to life is also afraid of sleep. He goes to bed but remains awake from within. He is lying down but running inside. I have seen thousands of such faces. Eyes are closed but the market is open inside. Now listen to me. Do not make any effort to bring sleep. He who tries fails. Sleep is not an achievement. Sleep is not a goal. Sleep is your nature. Trees do not sleep by trying. Rivers do not stop by planning. Animals do not worry. Yet they sleep deeply. Only man stays awake because only man thinks that he has to handle everything. I tell you one small thing. You are not necessary. This sentence is a shock because the ego says, I am very necessary. But just look, you fall asleep and the sun still rises. You fall asleep and the breath still continues. Existence continues even without you. Once this is understood, tension starts to fall away. Tension means I want to keep everything in my hands. Sleep means I let go. Therefore, sleep is the fruit of trust. I will tell you a story. There was an emperor. He could not sleep at night. He called doctors, tantrics, yogists. Everyone gave something. Herbs, mantras, postures, nothing worked. One day a fakir came. He said, Maharaj, before sleeping just say, whatever happens will be seen. The emperor laughed. Is that it? The fakir said, just this. On the first night, the emperor fell asleep. Why? Because for the first time he broke his relationship with the future. Tension is a disease of the future. Sleep is a celebration of the present. You are in bed, but your mind is in tomorrow, meetings, money, relationships, mistakes. Sleep says, come here right now. That is why I am telling you. Just listen, not to my voice. Listen to the silence between my words. Words are a river. Silence is the ocean. If words carry you away, good. If words fall away and silence remains, even better. Sleep comes when no demand is left inside. You say, I want to sleep. This is the mistake. Sleep is not asked for. Sleep is allowed to come. Like love, he who demands love misses out on love. He who gives space to love, love comes on its own. Sleep is also like love, delicate, tender, and afraid of force. Therefore, I will not ask you to do anything. I will only tell you for a while, don't be anything. Don't be a husband. Don't be a wife. Don't be a son or daughter. Don't be an employee. Don't be a success or failure. Just be. Sleep descends where there's nothing to be done. Have you seen when a child gets tired of crying, he suddenly falls asleep, he knows no technique, he just gets tired and lets go? You too are very tired, but you do not let go. Your mind says one last thought, and that last thought becomes the first, and the night passes. At this moment, don't think anything with me. If thoughts come, don't drive them away. Let them sit. Thoughts are guests. Don't you be the host. You be the sky. The clouds will pass on their own, and when the inner sky clears a little, sleep will descend like dew without sound, without announcement. Just listen to this. Do nothing. Sleep is your nature. Tension is your habit. Nature returns. Habit is left behind. Now my words are going to get deeper. If the eyes are heavy, let them close. If they are open, that is also fine. I am not talking to your eyes. I am talking to your consciousness. The root cause of your tension is not an event. It is not a person. It is not a circumstance. The root cause of tension is your resistance. You are fighting life, and he who fights life also fights sleep at night. All day long you say, this should not have happened. That should have happened. Why am I not like this? Why are others like that? This why is your greatest restlessness. Nature does not know why. Nature just knows is. A tree does not ask, why am I a mango tree? A river does not ask, why am I flowing crookedly? But man asks, and by asking questions he exhausts himself. Sleep does not come from questions. Sleep comes from acceptance. I have not come to teach you to accept, because acceptance cannot be taught. Acceptance happens when you get tired. That is why I have come to tire you out. Do not try to understand my words with thoughts. Understanding is also a labor. Just let them flow. Like someone sitting on the riverbank, not trying to count the water, just watching it flow. Now listen to a very deep thing. Your tension is not because life is difficult. Your tension is because you want life to be easy, and life never promised you that it would be easy. Life only made one promise, that it would be true. Truth is sometimes harsh, sometimes beautiful, but it is always real. You are living in dreams, and when reality collides, tension is born. You don't sleep at night because during the day you have gathered many lies within you. I am not speaking of lies in a moral sense. I am talking about the lies you tell yourself. I am fine, it doesn't matter. I am strong, while inside a child is trembling. At night the child wakes up and says, now listen to me. But you say, not now, tomorrow. And the child says, tomorrow you will run away again. That is why sleep does not come. Sleep only comes when you say to that child sitting inside, okay, now you speak, I am listening. But listening does not mean giving a solution. Listening means just listening. When someone brings sorrow to you and you start explaining to them, you lose them. And when you start explaining to yourself, you get away from yourself too. Do not try to explain to yourself at night. Night is not the time for explaining. Night is the time for falling. During the day, you stand with the help of roles. At night, those supports should fall. If they do not fall, sleep does not come. So I give you a small key. Tonight, do not tell your mind, be quiet. The mind does not follow orders. The mind understands love. The mind end dish, but just say to the mind, okay, whatever it is, however it is, I am ready. This sentence is magic because this sentence ends the fight, and where the fight ends, relaxation begins. Sleep is the peak of relaxation. I have seen that people who are very moral get less sleep. Why? Because they keep an eye on themselves all the time. This thought is not right. This desire is wrong. This feeling is not good. This watchman troubles them during the day and at night too. To let sleep come, the watchman has to be given a holiday. Tonight, tell the judge inside you, no decision will be made today. Today there is no right or wrong. Today there is no good or bad. Today there is only tiredness and permission to rest. Do you know what causes the most fatigue? The effort to become better than yourself? I am not against becoming better, but I talk about becoming whole instead of becoming better. Whole means giving space to what is. You suppress anger, it becomes restlessness at night. You suppress sadness, it's still sleep. You hide fear, it returns in dreams. That is why I say what you did not live in the day keeps you awake at night. Now slowly descend within yourself with my voice. There is no destination, no goal, just descending, like someone descending into a well and letting go of the rope. If thoughts come, let them come. If memories come, let them come. They are not your enemies. They are just tired energy that now wants rest, and when you give them space, they quiet down on their own. This is the secret of sleep. Now you are coming to that place where words become slow and experience starts to speak. If you feel that something is changing, do not grab it. And if nothing is changing, do not grab that either. Sleep does not come by grabbing. Sleep comes when the grabber gets tired. Now listen to a very subtle thing. You do not wake up, you have been woken up. Since childhood you were taught. Look at the time. Think about the future. Improve yourself. Compare yourself with others. All this takes you away from sleep because sleep means I am no longer an expectation of anyone, neither of the boss, nor of society, nor of my own ideal. There is no ideal in sleep. In sleep you are accepted exactly as you are. That is why sleep gives such deep peace. But before sleeping, you carry the burden of the day with you. I ask you, have you ever argued with old clothes while changing them? You shouldn't come off yet. I wore you yesterday too. No, you just take them off. But you do not take off the clothes of the mind. You take them to bed. Today I am not teaching you. I am letting you take them off, one by one. The first cloth, the identity of the day. Who you were today. Don't be that anymore. If you were a failure today, that is no longer important. If you were a success, that is also no longer important. Sleep does not give a certificate to anyone. Sleep says, just come. The second cloth, regret. I shouldn't have said that. I should have done that. Regret is not the burden of the future. It is the burden of the past, and sleep has nothing to do with the past. Sleep is in the present, so much in the present that time also stops. The third cloth, fear. Fear says, if I fall asleep and something goes wrong, I tell you a straight thing, if something goes wrong while sleeping, you wouldn't be able to do anything even while awake. This is the illusion of the ego that you are in control. Sleep breaks this illusion. That is why the ego is afraid of sleep. Now hear a story. There was a seeker. He progressed a lot in meditation, but sleep would not come. He asked the master, there is meditation, there is awareness, then why no sleep? The master laughed and said, because even now you are trying to stay aware. Even meditation, if it becomes an effort, becomes a barrier. Sleep is the death of effort. Now, while listening to me, feel this within you. You don't have to prove anything right now, neither to yourself, nor to me, nor to the world. This moment is absolutely useless, and that is why it is beautiful. Where there is no use, there is rest. You have seen that things which are useful are tiring. A chair gives rest because it demands nothing. A bed gives comfort because it doesn't ask you to become anything. Now create a similar space within you where nothing is being asked of you. If your mind asks, "What should I do now?" then smile, because that very question is the biggest noise. Now a deep thing, your sleep is not gone because you have problems. Your sleep is gone because you think the problems have to be solved right now. Night is not the time for problem solving. Night is the time for surrender. If the problem can be solved, it will be solved in the morning. And if it cannot be, what will you achieve by staying awake at night? That is why Buddha said, don't worry about what can happen, and don't worry about what cannot happen. Worry has no use, and where there is no use, it is easy to leave it. Now slowly my voice will also become the background. I want the words to step back and you to come forward. You don't need to feel anything, you don't need to see anything, just knowing that you are is enough. And this being is enough. When being becomes enough, sleeping happens on its own. Now we are coming near the limit where language slowly takes leave and experience takes charge. If you feel that words are going away, it is a good sign. It means that you are coming closer. Now listen to a very fundamental thing. Sleep is not a process. Sleep is not a practice. Sleep is not an achievement. Sleep is not the rest after fatigue. Sleep is the surrender after the fight. You get tired every day, yet sleep does not come. This clearly means fatigue is not the cause. The cause is your stubbornness. The mind says, let me understand now, let me decide now, let me keep it in control now. Sleep says, leave it now. And where this conflict is, there is wakefulness. Now look within you. Somewhere a very fine tension is sitting. The tension is not big, but it is constant, like a fist held slightly tight all day. Now I will not give you any method. I will give you a permission. Say within yourself, I now allow myself to loosen up. Just that. No force, no repetition, no practice. Permission works immediately because permission ends the struggle. Now hear a parable. There was a traveler. He was sitting in a boat crossing the river. The river was calm, but the traveler was panicked. He was sitting holding the boat every moment. The boatman said, leave it. The boat floats on its own. The traveler said, if I leave it, I will drown. The boatman laughed. The boat is not carrying you. The river is. Life too is a river. Sleep too is a river. You are not the boat. You are not the traveler. You have forgotten to trust that river. Now listen, your biggest worry is that if you fall asleep, you might break. But the truth is opposite. You are broken because you do not sleep. Sleep joins, sleep repairs, sleep opens the knots within. And the knots that do not open in the day open on their own at night if you do not block the way. Now another deep thing, sleep does not take any I with it. Therefore ego is the enemy of sleep. Ego says I am, sleep says I am not. And where I is not, there is peace. Now pay attention, there are two kinds of voices within you. One voice that keeps speaking, commenting, giving judgments, and the second voice that only listens. Until now you have lived with the first voice. Today give some space to the second voice. That voice is very quiet. It never screams. It just exists. In that voice is the door to sleep. Now if any thought comes, don't fight it. Tell it you are right, but not now. Thought also wants respect. The thought you completely deny returns with more force. The one you listen to a little becomes quiet. So listen and leave. Now it is such a silence in which everything rests, and in that silence sleep descends like a wing resting on the air. Now words will become even lighter. You don't need to catch anything, don't need to remember anything. What remains will be enough. Now we are standing at that place where words do not take you. You start to descend beyond words. If you feel a slight sinking, do not panic. This is not drowning, this is looseness. Now listen to a very deep thing. You do not go into sleep, sleep descends into you. But before it descends, you have to clear the path. And the path is not filled with thoughts. The path is filled with identity. All day long you are stuck in some identity. I am like this. I should be like this. People think of me like this. Sleep does not take all these identities with it. Sleep is naked. That is why you are afraid. Because nakedness makes the ego insecure. Now look within you. Are you really something in this moment, or just a burden of old memories and apprehension of the future? If everything is taken away right now, name, work, role, history, what will remain? Don't be afraid. What remains is the real thing, and that is the door to sleep. Now hear a parable. A man took sleeping pills for many years. One day he asked a saint, "Why can't I sleep without medicine?" The saint said, "Because without medicine you don't trust yourself." The man was shocked. The saint said, "Sleep does not come from chemicals. Sleep comes from trust. Now understand this. Your body is much wiser than you. Your breath does not run by asking you. Your heart does not take your permission. Then why should sleep? Just you stand in between. Today move yourself aside for a while and just think. If I do nothing, even then, everything is going on. This is not a thought. This is an experience. Now another very subtle thing. Often sleep is about to come, and just then the mind says, yes, it is coming. And at that very moment, sleep runs away. Why? Because the observer returned. Sleep comes in the absence of the viewer. So if you feel sleep, don't look at it, don't name it, don't catch it, just let it fall. Like someone not looking at his feet while entering water, he just enters. Now let this feeling come within you. If I sleep, that's fine. If I don't sleep, that's also fine. This fine is the greatest rest. Where there is no expectation from the result, there the tension breaks. I have seen that people who say, today I must sleep at any cost, sleep the least, and those who say, whatever happens, fall asleep first. Now pay attention. Before sleep comes, the body often starts to become heavy. Need is the root of tension. Need means absence, and sleep does not come in absence. Sleep comes in fullness. Now see within you what is lacking in this moment. If you look carefully, nothing. Breath is moving, body is lying down, earth is holding you. What is not there is thought, and thought lives outside this moment. Now another deep layer. You often say, I am very sensitive, that's why I don't get sleep. No, you're not sensitive, you are insecure. Sensitivity is a beautiful quality. Insecurity steals sleep. And where does insecurity come from? From the illusion that you are alone. But listen, you have never been alone. You just feel separate. Feeling separate is mental. Being connected is existential. You are connected by breath. You are connected to the earth. You are connected to this moment. And where the experience of connection awakens, sleep descends on its own. Now a parable. Why does a child immediately fall asleep in a mother's lap? Because he doesn't need proof of being safe. He only needs the experience. Sleep does not ask for proof. Sleep descends in experience. Now find the mother's lap within you. That lap is in your breath. That lap is in the warmth of your body. Change nothing, improve nothing. Just feel this. I am held. Now a very fine fear. Often before sleep, this fear arises. If I fall asleep, what will happen tomorrow? This fear is of tomorrow, and sleep is of today. Tomorrow hasn't come yet, and when it comes, it will be seen. Sleep is not a plan for the future. Sleep is the acceptance of the present. Now words will be even lighter. If you feel that my words are breaking, don't try to join them. Breaking is the sign of going inside. Now the final feeling of this part, you don't need to catch anything. What is left behind was a burden. What remains is you, and where you are, there is sleep. Now we are reaching that place where words remain only a hint. If you feel that the listener is slowly disappearing, don't panic. This is the beginning. Now listen to a very silent truth. Sleep is not a thing to come. Sleep is a state of being. All day you keep becoming something or the other, someone's son, someone's employee, someone's expectation. At night you don't have to be anything, and this is the hardest thing, because to be nothing scares the ego. Ego says, if I am not there, who will be? I say, the one who has always been. Now a very deep thing. Your being does not depend on your effort. You were born without effort, and you descend into sleep without effort. Now let this thought descend lightly within you. I don't need to handle anything. This is not a thought, this is the falling of weight, and when the weight falls, the body naturally descends into rest. Now pay attention. Before sleep comes, the body often gives strange signals, shocks, heaviness, emptiness. The mind gets scared. Is something wrong? Nothing is going wrong. Something right is happening. The body is taking control in its hands, and the mind is backing off for the first time. Now a parable. A man always drove the car himself. One day he kept a driver. On the first day he felt afraid. What if the driver makes a mistake? But after some time he fell asleep in the car. Why? because he left control. Sleep is a celebration of leaving control. Now another deep layer, there is a part within you that never sleeps the witness. But that part does not become a barrier in sleep. The barrier is that part which wants to know, I am sleeping. Sleep comes without knowledge. So if you feel that I am falling, don't try to know. Falling is safe. Now words will be even slower. If any sentences seem incomplete, don't completeness. Incompleteness is now completeness. Now, the final feeling of this part, you are absolutely fine in this moment. You don't have to reach anywhere, don't have to become anything, just loosen up right here, and where looseness is complete, sleep silently descends. Now, we are at that turn where words do not walk with you. They start to be left behind. If you feel that the meaning is slipping, don't hold it. The slipping of meaning is the beginning of sleep. Now listen to a very silent truth. Sleep is not the culmination of any effort. Sleep is the prayer of fatigue. In prayer, nothing is asked. The head just bows. Let the head bow today. Now see within you for how many years you have kept yourself straight, strong, handled, ready. Sleep does not come in strictness. Sleep comes in leaning. Like a grain plant, when it is full, it leans. If you are leaning, then understand you are full. Now a parable, an old seeker used to say, I meditate in the day, at night meditation sleeps. Someone asked, what does it mean? He said, in the day I sit, at night I fall. Meditation is sitting, sleep is falling. Now let it fall. Now another deep layer, you often think that before sleep the mind has to be quieted. No, let the mind get tired. Silence comes on its own after fatigue. Like a child becomes quiet after crying. No one made him quiet. Now give space to the crying within you. Without words, without tears, just accept the fatigue. Now pay attention. Before sleep a moment comes when the eye loosens up a little. The mind immediately says, steady, this is the mistake. Don't steady yourself today. Today sleeping is acceptable because there is no pit below. Below is the bed, the earth, existence. Now another subtle truth, sleep never fears noise. Sleep fears internal commentary. If there are sounds outside, even then sleep can come. But if someone inside is saying this is not right, this should happen, then sleep stays away. Today, the inner commentary is not to be stopped. Just don't give it importance. Commentary is like a radio. You listen or don't listen. Sleep comes at that moment when the radio becomes background. Now words will be even more sparse. If my words seem to be breaking, don't try to join them. The joiner will wake up again. Now the final feeling of this part, today you don't need any answer. Night does not give answers. Night gives refuge, and where there is refuge, the sleep comes in without knocking. Now you are very close to that point where words remain only shadows. If you feel that my words are now coming from a distance, this is fine. This very distance is taking you inside. Now listen to an extremely subtle truth. Sleep does not come by your coming. Sleep comes by your moving away. All day you stay in front, taking decisions, thinking, handling. Night says, now you step back. But you are afraid. If I step back, everything will shatter. Listen, until now you were in front, yet how much of life has shattered. Today try stepping back, maybe something will join on its own. Now let this experience happen within you, that in this moment you are not necessary. This is not an insult, this is liberation. When you are no longer necessary, the burden falls, and where there is no burden, there sleep spreads its feet. Now a parable, a child sleeps in a mother's lap only when he leaves his body completely. If he stays stiff, even the lap doesn't give rest. Life too is a mother's lap. Don't be stiff. Now another deep layer, you think that sleep is a matter of the body. Now sleep is a matter of faith. The body wants to sleep. It is only the mind that does not trust. The mind says, if I loosen up, I will become weak. But look, on the loom, the loose thread does not break. The tight thread breaks. Looseness is not weakness, it is flexibility, and the flexible never breaks. Now, words will be even slower. If you don't remember the end of a sentence, smile. Memory is no longer necessary. Now, a very fine experience before sleep, often a void comes. The mind says, what is this? I say, this is exactly what you were looking for. This void is not zero, it is an ego-free space, and where there is no ego, there is deep sleep. Now the final feeling of this part, you are not falling anywhere, you are returning home. And while returning home, eyes close on their own. Now you are very close to that place where listening also starts to disappear. If you feel that nothing is in your grasp now, then understand this is right. Now listen to an extremely deep silence. Sleep comes before a final illusion breaks that I am. All day long you hold on to the I, my worry, my future, my identity. Night says, today give this burden to me, but you are afraid. If I am not there, what will remain? I say, everything. Without the I, life becomes light. Without the I, breath becomes deep. Without the I, sleep descends. Now let this experience happen within you. That in this moment you are not any center. Everything is happening on its own. Breath, heartbeat, looseness. You are just not in between. Now a parable, a doll of salt went to measure the ocean. As soon as she stepped into the water, she dissolved. The ocean was not measured, but the doll became the ocean. Sleep is just like this. You don't go to no sleep, you dissolve in sleep. Now another subtle layer. Before sleep, often a sudden fear arises, as if falling. That fear is not of the body, but of the ego. The body knows how to sleep. Fear only says, I will be lost. Today being lost is acceptable, because he who loses finds. Now words are becoming almost silence. If my words now seem like a dream, it is good. From here, wakefulness turns into sleep. Now the final feeling of this part, you don't have to stop at any boundary. You are slowly dissolving. And where dissolution is complete, their sleep descends fully. Now I will speak very slowly, not because words are falling short, but because now words are not to wake you up, but to put you to sleep. Now we are at the place where Osho also often became silent. But before silence, one last deep thing is necessary to say. Because this is the place where most people return right from the door. The biggest fear of sleep, the biggest fear is not that sleep will not come. The biggest fear is that if sleep comes, I will be lost. This fear is very ancient. It doesn't come from childhood, it comes from lifetimes. Because every night's sleep is a small taste of death, and the ego is afraid of death. Ego says, I am, I know, I control. Sleep says, you are not. You don't need to know. Everything is fine without you. And this sentence makes the ego tremble. That is why many people lie in bed. Everything is fine. There is fatigue. There is peace. And then suddenly the heart starts beating fast. Breath becomes shallow. Mind says, no, something is going wrong. Nothing is going wrong. Something very right is happening. Ego is losing control for the first time. The relationship between sleep and death, I tell you a truth. The man who is afraid of sleep is also afraid of life, and he who can descend fully into sleep can also descend fully into life, because sleep teaches how to live, and he who has learned to live is never unhappy. Look, all day long you keep holding thoughts, holding relationships, holding your image, holding your mistakes, holding your successes, and by holding you get tired. Sleep is an invitation. Tonight, don't hold anything. But the habit is so old that the mind says, if I didn't hold, I would shatter. Let the mind shatter. The shattering of the mind is not your shattering. The shattering of the mind is your liberation. People who say, my brain runs a lot. I have heard thousands of people who say, my brain runs a lot. That's why I don't get sleep. This is a half-truth. The full truth is, you let the brain run because you are not able to stop yourself. The brain doesn't run. The brain is run. And who runs it? Fear. That is tata. Fear of the future, fear of mistakes, fear of failure, fear of loneliness. Now listen, sleep and fear cannot stay in the same room. Either fear will stay or sleep. So today don't drive fear away. Don't explain to fear. Just say to fear, today you don't keep watch. This is a very tender sentence. There is no fight in it. There is no order in it. And fear is quieted by respect, not by fight. Sleep is like a woman. Understand this. Sleep does not come from male energy. Sleep comes from female energy. Male energy means doing, getting, controlling. Female energy means being, accepting, looseness. People who apply force in everything also apply force in sleep. And sleep is afraid of force. Sleep is like love. He who wants to catch love loses it. He who gives space to love is filled with love. Tonight don't go to catch sleep. Make space for sleep. How? By doing nothing. Now a very deep process without process. Now I will not give you any technique, but I will give you an experience. Don't do it. Let it happen. Feel this within you as if you are not lying on the earth. The earth is holding you. As if the bed is not under you, you are dissolving in the bed. As if the body is no burden, no responsibility, just a loose shell. Now slowly let this experience come that you are not the body. If the body sleeps, let it sleep. You don't need to sleep. This is the point where sleep descends without telling. The last move just before sleep, the mind plays a last move. Mind says, what if sleep doesn't come? This is the last tone. Now take out this tone very carefully. If sleep doesn't come, so what? Will any crime be committed? Will the world stop? Will the sun not rise? No. Then what is the fear? The moment you accept the non-coming of sleep, at that very moment sleep comes, because now no resistance is left. A very final and very deep truth: sleep is not your need. Sleep is your nature, and nature does not take time to return. Just one moment's letting go is needed. Tonight, if nothing happens, that's fine too. If sleep comes, that's fine too. This fine is the greatest mantra. Where fine becomes deep, the attention gives up the ghost. Now I stop, because to speak more now would be an injustice to sleep. This is the last part. After this, nothing remains to be said. And the truth is, now there is no need to say it. Now I have not come to teach you anything. Now I have not come to take you anywhere. Now I am just sitting with you. Like someone in the last watch of the night, sitting silently near someone without questions, without answers. Now a very straight thing. You have done a lot in life, suffered a lot, thought a lot, handled a lot. Now for some time, do nothing. This is not laziness. This is not escapism. This is respect for your tired existence. I tell you, you don't have to be strong tonight. You don't have to be wise tonight. You don't even have to be spiritual tonight. You just have to give permission to be a tired human being. Why doesn't sleep come? The final truth: sleep doesn't go away because you are weak. Sleep doesn't go away because you are wrong. Sleep goes away because you don't give yourself permission to rest. Because somewhere inside the voice says, it's not right to stop yet. It's not safe to loosen up yet. I tell you at a very deep level, now it is safe. At this moment there is no test. There is no judgment. There is no expectation. This moment cannot be snatched by anyone. Sleep is not a goal. Sleep is a return. Sleep is not to be found. Sleep is to be remembered. You have slept before. In childhood, without worry, without fear, without technique, then you used to trust life. Today, just let that trust return. If it doesn't return, that's fine too. Trust also doesn't come by force. Now I am leaving you. I know now if I speak more, it will be unnecessary, because now you are not listening. You are fading. Words are now background and silence is becoming primary. If sleep comes, let it come. If it doesn't come, let it not come. There is no difference between the two. Where the difference disappears, there is deep peace. Final farewell. Now I take leave of you with this trust that you are not alone now. Sleep is not your enemy. Sleep is your oldest friend. She recognizes you. She will hold you. Now do nothing, think nothing, be nothing, just be. And if eyes close on their own, don't open them. This is not the end.